Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing great. I'm Victor Gomez here, and I'm so excited to be with you in this morning, evening. I don't know where you're watching this from, but today I'm excited because today I'm going to talk a little bit about controversy. Something that I've been a fan for years is Napoleon Hill. I've been a fan of Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich for since I started my self-development journeys, and I started reading about mindset, about how to achieve my goals, how to get the things I want. So we're going to be talking a little bit about Napoleon Hill and the Bible and King Solomon and Proverbs because I've been for the past year digging very deep into everything that has to do with Proverbs, King Solomon, and I see such so much information intertwined, right? So much link between the 13 principles of success or 17 principles of Napoleon Hill, the laws of success, and Proverbs, and we all know, right, the ancient wisdom within the Bible and everything that it's got. But now, how do we apply it? Sometimes that's been a little hard for me at some points. Has been how to apply the knowledge, right, that we get, either from the Bible that I got here, right, or from Napoleon Hill on Think and Grow Rich, and how can we truly put it to good use? Because one of my goals for 2026 is to live a life of purpose, to live a life much more, at the level that I want to live my life, much more at the level that I truly want to, the things I want to achieve, because I have big dreams. And one of the things that I have, one of the subscribers, a person that was looking to video, said, okay, if you believe in these things, do a video and commit yourself. And one of the things that I want to do this video as well is for that. It's to commit. So I'm going to commit because our goal currently is to surpass $5 million in sales this year. Okay. We're launching in February. In about 2 weeks, we're going to be launching a university. We're going to be launching a whole different things, digital, comment, I'm interested, subscribe if you like this information, because we're going to be doing a lot of things that a lot of people are going to be able to benefit. Our goal is to help at least 1,000 people surpass $100,000, in profits in the next 12 to 24 months. That's our personal goal that we're looking to achieve, that we're looking to create together with a lot of amazing people that we're working together currently, that we want to work for the past couple of 12 to 24 months, very, very or in an organized, fashion and way. So today I really want to go all in on this and tell you a little bit. I'm going to be waiting for a couple more people to join in. I know it's here in Mexico where I'm at currently. It's 9:46. I'm originally from Puerto Rico. I was in the Army for a couple of years. And, it's been a crazy, crazy story that I'll definitely be able to talk to you maybe at another point with you guys. But for now, I want to go into this because for me, the controversy about the Bible or Think and Grow Rich for success, right? Napoleon Hill or King Solomon. As you can see in this page that we're sharing right now, you can definitely see a little bit about the difference. Did you know that if we were going to compare King Solomon's wealth, he would have over $2 trillion compared to today's date. $2 trillion, and just in gold. Not counting all the other things that he was doing, all the other things that he was definitely working, and all the things that he was definitely involved in. Because kings and rulers from all over the world went for him. Went to him for information, went to him for more knowledge, and he used to, they paid him for it. They paid him monthly, they paid him yearly, they paid him in gold, they paid him so many things. So I want to compare a little bit about Napoleon Hill, which also Napoleon Hill. I don't know if you know the whole story of Napoleon Hill, but he didn't have the best ending. Like he lost the rights for Think and Grow Rich. Like he wasn't getting no money. Basically, so some of the stories that I was researching, is that, he was a little bit broke, when he died. He had some investors that would help him, but he didn't have all that money when he died. King Solomon died a trillionaire, right? Napoleon Hill died, broke. So also that has to do a little bit with the things that we have to also consider if we're thinking about, again, Napoleon Hill or the Bible, right? Which one? Napoleon Hill or the Bible? Where do we go from there? What do we think, or how can we apply both of them? Because I think both have a lot of knowledge, And again, the Bible talks a lot in parables, and sometimes we don't understand it perfectly, how it's, what it means, or it's a little confusing at points. That's why also we're doing this, okay? That's why we are also wanting to do these videos with you guys, so we can definitely be able to get together and be able to help you out in understanding all this wisdom, because it's all about wisdom, right? Everything started with success, starts with knowledge, with wisdom, with what we want. How can we get it? How can we truly get the things that we want to get? How can we truly achieve all these things that we want to achieve? But we have to be coherent. We have to know exactly what we want to do, okay? So it's very important, very, very important when we're trying to get all the things that we want to do. We want to get them into a point, right? To an objective we want to go. So I'm not going to talk a lot. We were talking a lot of stuff, but let's go, right? So Napoleon Hill, right? I was doing a couple of things. I was waiting for a couple of people, but let's begin. King Solomon, reign period, 970 to 931 before Christ, right? He reigned for 40 years. Annual gold income, 666 talents. That's a lot of gold. At today's, we're what, almost a $5,000 per ounce in gold, so it's crazy. So modern valuation is $2.1 trillion. Lifespan, Napoleon Hill, okay, from 1883 to 1970. 20 years he had a research period when he started doing, the famous story on Andrew Carnegie, told him to interview, the best experts around the world. Tycoon interviewed over 500. Books sold over 100 million books sold, right? But he didn't get the legacy royalties from that money. His ex-wife, he had went through a divorce, and his wife went through everything. So that's a little bit of his sad story, right? Divine architecture, one of the achievements. He built the first temple of Jerusalem, right? The project over $216 billion in today's money. 7 years construction project, over almost 200,000 workers, 80,000 stone cutters, 70,000 carriers, and 3,600 overseers, supervisors, right? Cost estimated at $216 billion. That's a lot of money, right? He had a Royal Naval Fleet, 3 years expedition, right? Alliance with King Hiram of Tyre. Fleet station, 3 years trade, expedition, bring gold, silver, ivory, apes, and peacocks from all over. He wrote over 300 proverbs. He had more than 1,000 songs. So he composed, right? He had a lot of wisdom that he was sharing with other people. He had international diplomacy, but he had 700 wives, 300 concubines. That was also his Achilles heel, right? That was his weakness, and why, at the end, God wasn't very happy with him. Administrative innovation, right? 12 districts, divided Israel into 12 administrative districts. Copper mining, that was his strength also. He has extensive copper mining in Araba Valley. Smelting facilities discovered at King Noah's day to Solomon's era. So right now we're finding things from King Solomon's era, right? And Ecclesiastes 1:17, I apply my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this also is but a striving after wind. So a little bit about Solomon, right? Napoleon Hill, Carnegie Commission in 1908. Andrew Carnegie commissioned Hill to interview 500 most successful individuals to codify the philosophy of success. No salary, only introductions. And that also, I was researching that. That's not even like 100% confirmed that happened, okay? So Think and Grow Rich, 1937. They styled the 20 years of research into 13 principles, became one of the best-selling books of all times with over 100 million copies sold worldwide. Imagine that, $1 a piece, that's $100 million. And it's much more than $1, right? But he's not getting, or his family, no royalties. Law of Success, original 8 volumes course containing 16 lessons. First comprehensive publication of Hill's research findings in 1928. Presidential advisor, served as advisor to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, credited with inspiring FDR's famous line, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." That's a good credit to have, right? Napoleon Hill Foundation he established to preserve and perpetuate his philosophy, continues to publish and teach his principles globally. Interview roster, some of the people he interviewed: Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Alexander Graham Bell, Theodore Roosevelt, John D. Rockefeller, and 500 others. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. I love that, one of the most famous lines from Napoleon Hill. So I want to give you a little introduction of, again, Solomon and Napoleon Hill. There's a lot of things that we might say about them that might not be, that we don't know, right? That we didn't know. But I want to compare a little bit about both, and then I want to show you a couple of things I did. So wealth titans comparison, right? We're going to compare, and you can see all these links I shared in the description below, so you can go in there and check these links as well. So you can happily go and check it out. I would love you to get your feedback from it. So titans, King Solomon, right? He would have $2.1 trillion in today's capital. John D. Rockefeller, he would have almost $1 trillion. There we have Andrew Carnegie, like 0.3 trillion. Elon Musk is on his way to be the first trillionaire, and Jeff Bezos is right behind. Okay, so again, so Solomon's, he had 25 tons annually of gold. So it's a lot of things that I want to compare the attribute and then see how they mix, right? So Solomon in legacy, well, his legacy is definitely, we're talking about Solomon thousands of years after he died, passed away, right? So he had a peace within his time, right? Solomon's wisdom, innovation. Napoleon Hill was maybe a little more innovative because I think, again, like King Solomon was born into wealth, right? He was King David's son. So King Solomon was born into wealth, and then, he was one of God's favorites. Maybe Napoleon Hill had a little harder, right? Had more persistence, maybe. He had a little more aggression. By aggression, more determination to go after what he wants. And that's also why there's a lot of things that maybe he was a scammer. A lot of his businesses didn't work. But when you're an entrepreneur, man, when you're an entrepreneur, that sometimes you have to start a business, another business, and maybe 15 of them fail, but 2 of them succeed, and, that's your legacy. King Solomon had a little bit easier in that sense because he was born King David's son, right? So a little bit of the attributes, right? I love video games, a little bit about, we're going to attribute them here. So principles, right? We're going to have a little bit of, also let's go for the timeline, like the timeline. So 970 BC, Solomon's reign begins. Solomon ascends his throne after Israel, David, right? God appears to him in dreams at Gibeon, offering any gift. Solomon requests wisdom to govern the people justly, right? Wisdom and science would ask. Temple, then he started the construction in 966 BC, 4 years after his reign. It was big construction at the time. First temple constructed, almost 10 years. Queen of Sheba visits, which was also his downfall, a little bit of it. Solomon's death, died after 40 years of reign. His son Rehoboam succeeded him. The kingdom subsequently divides into Israel north and Judah south. So it divides into 2. When King Solomon dies, Napoleon Hill was born in 1883. He is born in a one-room cabin in Pound, Virginia. Poverty marks his early life. His mother dies when he is 9 years old. The Carnegie Commission, Andrew Carnegie, the world's richest man, commissioned young journalist Napoleon Hill to interview 500 successful people and codify the philosophy of personal achievement, right? Law of Success, published in 1928, the first volume, Think and Grow Rich, in 1937, and then 1970, Napoleon Hill dies. And right now we're creating all this. This is where we're at today, trying to synthesize all these over 3,000 years of knowledge that we want to see how we can get into our brains, our minds, and help you guys also. So let's go. Let's go a little bit. I want to show you a little bit of what I've done, right? So Wealth Suite. There we go. Let's see. So we're going here. So the desire, king. So Napoleon Hill, for those of you who don't know, right? Napoleon Hill had Think and Grow Rich is 13 principles: desire, faith, auto-suggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning, decision, persistence, power of the mastermind, the mastery of sex transmutation, the subconscious mind, the brain, and the sixth sense. Proverbs has 31 proverbs on how to live a life of wisdom, right? It's wisdom or not to be wisdom? How can we select the best things of both? So I want to synthesize this a little bit of what Napoleon Hill principles and how they go accordingly with Proverbs. Okay, so desire. The starting point of all achievement is desire. Keep this consistently in mind. Weak desires bring weak results. Just a small amount of fire makes a small amount of fire. So Solomon's parallel. The hungry soul seeks with intensity. Right. If we go to Proverbs 13:4, and I also want to. This is one of the platforms that we created. I'm going to show you another platform that we created, so you can have both. Both of these platforms are in the description below, so you can go in it and check it out. You can go through all of this. We did something very cool for you guys, where you can see all of Proverbs. You can see Napoleon Hill's 13 principles. You read a little bit about them, activities, and everything. So I want to go over it one by one. You can do your wheel of life. You can go like an assessment. This is an awesome exercise to do. And you can also, after that, your personal success blueprint, okay? Where if you answer your questions, we're going to give you a diagram a little bit about you and your gifts, how to use your gifts and how to plan out what you want in 2026, okay? So a little bit of the things that we're doing. So this is very cool. So if we go, let's go to Proverbs 13:4. Remember, we're going to read this. We're studying. We want wisdom. So if we go to Proverbs 13, that was 14. Proverbs 13. Here we go. Proverbs 13:4, right? So we go to verse 4. The soul of sluggard disturbed and hath nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat. Right? So a righteous man hateth lying, but a wicked man is loathsome and cometh to shame. So we have to understand diligently. When we work diligently into something, that's really going to help everybody. And the desire, the starting point of all achievement, a burning desire to be and to do, is the foundation of success. You must know what you want with an obsessive clarity. Wishing will not bring riches, but desiring riches with a state of mind that becomes an obsession, then planning definite ways and means to acquire riches and backing those plans with persistence, which does not recognize failure, will bring riches. So it's a little more complicated than just wishing, right? I love it. Wish to desire. So yeah, law of attraction and all these things, but it's not as easy as that, right? You have to have obsession. You have to have a definite plan. You have to back it up with persistence and do it like consistently, even when life says no. So, and here's a little practice, right? How to turn gold, any idea, into gold. First, you have to fix your mind, the exact amount of money you desire. Determine exactly what you intend to give in return. Establish a definite date by which you intend to possess it. Create a definite plan and begin at once. Write a clear, consistent statement of all 4 points. Read your statement aloud twice a day, upon waking and before sleeping. See and feel yourself already in possession of your money, of what you desire. So this is a little bit about, Proverbs and Napoleon Hill. And I think, again, Napoleon Hill was more, again, practical maybe. Again, the Bible was written with knowledge, a lot of thousands of years, in the making. So that's something that it's more for this age. Maybe it's easier to understand, but it's in the Bible. When I started studying the Bible, again, and not talking about religion, talking about studying the Bible as to get wisdom, is to improve myself. It was amazing what I found in there, and how everything that I was praising in the world, it was here. It was here. Before it wasn't Think and Grow Rich, years before, hundreds of years before it wasn't Think and Grow Rich, it was already in Bible, in Proverbs, okay? So principle number 2, faith. Faith is the head chemistry of the mind. When faith is blended with the vibration of thought, the subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibration. Trust in the Lord with complete surrender. Trust in the Lord with all the thine heart, and lean not into thine own understanding. We have to have faith, right? So faith is definitely in all the Bible, but in Proverbs it's super clear as well how faith helps us acquire what we want. And one of the things that I really like what we did here, if you go, right, in the links, we go to faith. Proverbs 1 begins, faith. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. So we have to have faith, right? I want to go here, right? So let's go faith. Faith is a state of mind which may be induced or created by affirmation or repeated instructions. to the subconscious mind? Prayer, right? We pray every day, right? People say you pray, we have to think. So it's a little bit, again, I want to see the similarities, the connections between the Bible, Proverbs, and Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, 13 Principles of Success. When faith is blended with the vibration of thought, the subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibration, translate it into the spiritual equivalent, and transmits it to infinite intelligence, God, right? So again, it's very intertwined. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, Proverbs 3:5. So we can see all the connections, the beginning of wisdom and trust and direction. So if we go, let's go trust and directions and faith. We can see how faith is a lot. It's a lot in here in Proverbs. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments, right? Have faith in what he said. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. If we have faith in the commandments, we have faith in the law, we have faith in what God says, and we apply them, we're gonna have long life. We're gonna have riches. It's all throughout the Bible, and the Proverbs is very explicit as well. So again, a lot of similarities, right? But it was in the Bible first. Auto-suggestion, Napoleon Hill's third principle of success in Think and Grow Rich. If we go, your ability to use the principle of auto-suggestion will depend very largely upon your capacity to concentrate upon a given desire until that desire is transformed into reality. Guard your heart above all else, right? Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it air the issue of life. Put away from thee forward, right? So again, the heart sometimes is mind and heart connection. A lot in the Bible, it's a lot of mind and heart connection. So, I thought I wasn't. So here, right? So I was reading out of this. Now I'm going to read again over here. I'm switching between this, the. Right. So let's go here. 13 principles, faith, desire. Right. So auto-suggestion is the agency of communication between that part of the mind where conscious thoughts takes place and that which serves as a seed of action for the subconscious mind. Through the dominating thoughts which one permits to remain in the conscious mind, the principle of auto-suggestion voluntarily reaches the subconscious mind and influences it. But remember, voluntarily or involuntarily if you don't control it. Okay? So no thought can enter the subconscious mind without the aid of the principle of auto-suggestion. So how does it get to the subconscious mind? When we repeat it consistently. If you repeat it, consistently, then that's how you start doing it and get it into the subconscious mind. Whatever you want, but it has to be repeatedly. That's why again, prayer is so effective. So let's go for words and actions. Look, words and actions. The tongue of the wise brings healing. How the tongue also, if you repeat what you want. So a lot of the things that we read here in Proverbs, for me, it was amazing. It was just life selections. Do this or wise decisions or dumb decisions, right? Which one do you select? So I loved it, right? When I started reading it in a way that exactly how I read it in Napoleon Hill. How could I implement this that I'm reading to my own life? And then I wanted to see how I can help other people understand. So a lot of people don't understand what they're reading in the Bible. So I want to see if I can be the bridge, and help people understand what we are reading. So if we go to Proverbs, it's 4:23. Is this 4? This is 12, right? So a lot of the things here, let's go 12:18. Look, 12:18. There is that speaketh like the piercing of swords, but the tongue of the wise is health, right? If we can speak things into existence, if we suggest it, we say it is very, very powerful. And the Bible says it not only in Proverbs, but in a lot of other places, on how we can definitely utilize auto-suggestion. So it's the connection between, again, Solomon and the Bible and Napoleon Hill. So I love this. I love that. I hope you guys are liking it. Let me know what you think. Comment what you think. Comment what you don't like, what you like. Subscribe, and let me know how can we help you also understand all of this. So specialized knowledge. Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes power only when and if it is organized into a definite plan of action and directed to a definite end. Wisdom and knowledge build kingdoms. Through wisdoms is in a house builded, and by understanding it is established, and by knowledge shall it prosper. Again, is the connection. It's aligned. Specialized knowledge, wisdom, Napoleon Hill, and again, the Bible. So specialized knowledge. So let's see. There are two kinds of knowledge, general and specialized. General knowledge, no matter how great in quantity or variety, is little used in the accumulation of money. Knowledge will not attract money unless it is organized and intelligently directed through practical plans of action. Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes power only when organized into different plans of action and directed into a definite end. Right? So the search for wisdom, knowledge over haste, we can see a lot of connections where we are already seeing, again, the connection between Proverbs. We can go to Proverbs, we go to chapter 2 or chapter 19 or chapter 25, you will see things that go accordingly to acquiring knowledge and using knowledge wisely. Now, imagination. The imagination is literally the workshop we're in, our fashion, all plans created by man. The impulse, the desire is given shape, form, and action. Vision shapes the future. Again, it's aligned. Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keep the law, happy is he. Okay, so again, there's a lot of things that if we put together, there's two. I saw this is the King James version. Now we got another different version over here, I think. So that's why you may see a couple differences, but it's the same. Vision, right? Where there is no vision, let's go for that part. 23, I think it was, right? So we talk about vision. Where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keep the law, happy is vision. We have to imagine what we want. That's what vision means here. It's imagination, right? How can we imagine what we want? How can we, where there's no prophetic vision, the people cast astray? How can we not put the imagination of the goals for other people? That's what we want to do also here for you guys. How can you start imagining exactly what you want? You have to have vision for the things that you want to achieve. It's very simple. It's not hard. You have to have vision for the things that you want. You have to have visions and imagine the things you want to create, how you want to work, how you want to live in a year, in 2 years. So we have to definitely use imagination. And it's all over the Bible. Again, I was reading it again. I didn't change it. It's so good. Now we're back here. Okay, organized plan. You have learned that everything man creates or acquires begins in the form of desire. That desire is taken on the first lap of his journey with an organized plan, right? Wise counsel multiplies success. Without counsel, purposes, disappointment. So we have to plan. We have to counsel ourselves. We have to get around in the mastermind as well, right? Iron sharpens iron. So we go through all the 13 principles of success. You can see how definitely we are here. Like this is definitely it's the knowledge in Proverbs for me was blowing my mind. How I was happy with all these other things, and this is maybe the root of all the knowledge that we have created in humanity, right? All the laws of success, all the principles of how to live a righteous life and everything is there, right? So we have to also look into the wisdom and how to translate it into nowadays. And I think Napoleon Hill did that beautifully, more than a lot of people. Okay, so I want you to go, if you can go over this, you can go to VictorGomezCabrera.com, Solomon versus Napoleon. You can see a little bit about the differences, how all of it, man, it goes, like, it's here. You can see it. You can truly go through each of them and see how it's definitely goes with the Bible and the principles of success in Napoleon Hill. So let's go to organized plan. Let's go to decision, right? Analysis of several hundred people. Oh, weird, organized plan. Right, so you have learned that everything man creates and acquires begins in the form of desire. So we have to plan it. And then once we have planned it out, right, we're planning for its transition and are created and organized. You are now ready to be instructed in building practical plans for the translation of the definite chief aim into reality. Man, you definitely have to go to this web that we did, man. I think it's so super practical. You guys can see it. There's practical activities every day. You'll be able to see also Napoleon Hill's 13 principles and connected with the wisdom and knowledge in the Proverbs, which I definitely wish you can all read the 31 Proverbs, man. I know that would change your life. And that would also have a lot of things, see a lot of things that you already are doing, see and more, even more true, right? So decision, analysis of several hundred people who had accumulated fortunes well beyond the millions of dollar mark, disclosed the fact that every one of them had this. They were decisive. Successful people are decisive. They take decisions, even faster than most people. So we have the decisive man prosper. The thoughts of the diligent tend only to the planet, but everyone that is hasty only to want. So we have to also be, so it says we have to know what we want. We have to be decisive, okay? Let's go over here so you can see it. Decision, right? So he said, reaching decisions promptly, right? Have the habit of reaching decisions promptly and of changing these decisions slowly, if and when they were changed. People who fail to accumulate money, without exception, have the habit of reaching decisions, if at all, very slowly, and of changing these decisions quickly and often, right? So that's the difference between successful people who are decisive and non-successful people who might say they are decisive, but they're not really decisive, So the wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way. We have to know what we want. We have to know how we want. The wise, you can see all the connections that we can read, right? So the wisdom of the prudent is to discern his way. So we have to be decisive. We have to know what way we're going to go. So it's all over the Bible, man. Like, really, it's so amazing how we can connect all of this. Napoleon Hill's, wasn't sharing it, but now I'm sharing, right? So we have to be decisive. We have to know what we want. The wisdom, the prudence to discern his way. Decision. We have to make decisions. Sometimes we have to invest money. We have to, hire somebody to help us, but we have to make those decisions, okay? Okay, so now the power of the mastermind. The mastermind may be defined as coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people. Iron sharpens iron, right? Iron sharpens iron. So a man sharpened the countenance of his friends. Two are better than one, right? In Proverbs and Ecclesiastes as well. Let's share it over here. Oh, I jumped persistence. I'll go back to persistence. The mastermind may be defined as the coordination of knowledge and effort in the spirit of harmony. In the spirit of harmony. In the spirit of harmony. That's very important, okay? Between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. No individual may have great power without availing himself of the mastermind. Power is essential for success in the accumulation of money. Power is organized and intelligently directed knowledge. Iron sharpens iron. Proverbs 27:17, right? And then we got more of where we can see this, of the mastermind, of counsels. All throughout Proverbs speak about having counsels, wisdom. People who have wisdom, who have knowledge, they seek other people counsels. They want other people to tell them what's wrong and right so they can make themselves better, because that's the only way we grow, okay? That's the only way we definitely grow. Persistence. Persistent is to the character of man as carbon is to steel. There may be no heroic connotations to the word persistence, but it is. The persistence ant stores provisions. Go to the ant. Though sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, like the ant is always going after what it wants. It doesn't wait for nobody to wake her up. You don't need to wake up the ant, right? You don't wake up the ant. The ant is already woken up. The ant is already working. The ant is already organized. The ant is already decisive. The ant is already storing what it wants, right? The righteous are bold as a lion. Proverbs 28:1. 28:1, right? The wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are bold as a lion. So persistence creates boldness. The righteous have nothing to hide, so they persist without fear. Again, we can see this all throughout the Bible. You can definitely, please, man, you can see it here in English. You can have it, I think it's also, should be also in Spanish as well. So you can see it in English and in Spanish. In both languages, you can get all this information. Man, I think this was pretty cool. The mystery of sex or transmutation. Sex desire is the most powerful of human desires. When driven by this desire, man develop keenness of imagination, courage, willpower, persistence. What wars have started, millions of people have been killed because people have not mastery over their sexual emotions, right? Temperance and self-mastery. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls, right? So let's go again. Let's go again. The connection between Napoleon Hill 13 principles and sexual transmutation. The meaning of the word transmutate is the changing or transferring of one element or form of energy into another. The emotion of sex brings into being a state of mind. This state of mind can be and is transmuted into highly creative channels. Sexual energy is the creative energy of all geniuses. When harnessed and redirected, it provides the driving force behind all great achievements. But are we using it wisely, right? Drink waters out of your own cisterns, right? So we have to understand also how to do it, how to use it, how to keep it for ourselves, not to give it to everybody, right? You don't have to be having, going there the first person you meet and being involved with them. You have to be analyzed and have how to put that energy into your goals, into your dreams, into your work, into your organized plans, right? Use that same energy, store it a little bit. Don't just use it for nothing, right? Don't play around with it. Be smart about it. The subconscious mind, principle number 11. The subconscious mind will not remain idle. If you fail to plant desires in your subconscious mind, it will feed upon thoughts which reach it, good or bad. So that's the thing about the subconscious mind. If you don't use it and you let anything go in there, then you start getting those bad thoughts. I think that's a lot of people who are depressed. I won't say all of them, because there's a lot of chemical issues as well in the mind, in the brain, in the body. But I think it starts a lot with that, with not handling your subconscious mind. And if you're every day, being negative every day, you're talking about you're going to get sick, because the subconscious mind will get it like that. So as a man thinketh in his heart, right? For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink. Save he that thee, but his heart is not withered, right? Again, it's the same thing. Oh, what did I do? I lost the page. Okay, here we go. Again, so even in everything, right? In the mind, subconscious mind, right? The subconscious mind consists of a field of consciousness in which every impulse of thought that reaches the objective mind through any of the five senses is classified and recorded. You may voluntarily plant in your subconscious mind any plan, thought, or purpose which you desire to translate into its physical equivalent. The subconscious acts first on the dominating desires which have been mixed with emotional feelings such as faith. Right? Apply your heart to instructions. Talk about the focus mind. The subconscious mind requires focus on input, right? Apply your heart means deliberately programming. Apply your heart to instruction and your ear to words of knowledge. If you do this, right? If you put it, your heart, again, the heart-mind connection. The Bible a lot of times talks about the heart. It is the mind, the mind, where you keep everything. The knowledge, it's here. But back then, people thought everything was the heart, right? But the brain is the smart thing. And your ear, the words of knowledge. So what are we putting in our ear, right? 23:12, right? For there with the mere is mighty. He shall plead their cause with thee. Apply thy heart into instructions and thy ears to the words of knowledge. Withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. About, how do we program our kids? That's also another story for another conversation for another day. But again, the brain is it. So again, the connection is it's connected. Everything's connected. The brain is a receiving set for broadcasting thoughts. It is capable of picking up the vibration of thoughts released by other brains. The heart discerns all communications. The heart of the prudent useth knowledge, and the ear of the wise seek knowledge. Right? Again, we're finishing here. So again, it's the 12. We're on the brain. More than 20 years ago, the author, working in conjunction with the late Dr. Alexander Graham Bell and Dr. Elmer R. Gates, observed that every human brain is both a broadcasting and receiving station for the vibration of thoughts. The brain is capable of picking up thoughts, vibrations from other brains. The creative imagination is the receiving set of the brain, which receives thoughts released by the brains of others. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Words of power, right? So how to use our brain. What is the brain, right? How can we use it to get the things we want? How can we, again, use it to program the things we want? So how can we start broadcasting that information? One of the things that I think it was Jim Rohn that said, right? You have to sell, I think it was Bob Proctor. You have to sell the person in your mind first, right? You have to sell it, before you sell insurance, before you sell anything, you have to already see it, that you sold that person, and that person will receive it. Also, love. You talk to a person with empathy, with love, they'll feel that love. They'll feel more secure about you. So that's also something, right? The sixth sense. The sixth sense. Let's go for the last principle, the sixth sense. The sixth sense is the portion of the subconscious mind which has been referred to as the creative imagination. It has also been referred, let me read that part from over here, to as the creative imagination. It has also been referred to as a receiving set through which ideas, plans, and thoughts flash into the mind. The flashes are sometimes called hunches or inspirations, or the sixth sense defies description. It cannot be described to a person who has not mastered the other principles. Okay, so this is the last principles, how to use that connection with whatever you want to call it, right? The energy, God, that intuition. They say that we can feel the energy of anybody who has ever lived. If you want to talk to Mozart, you can just talk to Mozart in your mind and connect with him with this energy, and you'll be there. The Lord, you want to talk to the Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way. So there's Hill, infinite intelligence speaks through wisdom's personified. This is the voice that transcends human understanding. The Lord, right, possessed me at the beginning of his work, before his deeds of old. So we have to understand all of these similarities. Again, that I was, wow, how the book, one of my favorite books in the world, Think and Grow Rich, and it's everything's here. When I started reading the Proverbs, I started, okay, it's the connection. And that's a 2,000-year-old book, 2,000-year-old writing and teachings from Solomon, right? Back in the age. So this is awesome. And here there's a lot of things that I want you to see that you can do, okay? You'll be able to get like a daily, you'll be able to get all the chapters, both languages. You can get random chapters. You have a journal where you can have a little journal, how you feel. Besides the journal, have a little challenge of the Proverbs. You can have a little meditation app that you can use. Little meditation app, right? So breathe, that's also good. It'll give you one to concentrate for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes, 15 minutes. Everybody can do 2 minutes. And you just concentrate. The Lord possessed me at the beginning of work, before his deeds old. And how do you feel about that? How can you utilize that today? And you just breathe for 2 minutes or 5 minutes, right? And every day you get a different one. How can we focus more on wisdom? And I want to share a little bit about this because, business career, you can put the wheel of life. This is a great tool for you to use to see where you're at right now. In your business career, where are you at right now in your business career? Your finances, where are you at right now? In your health, where are you right now, right? In your health, in your family and friends, where are you right now? In your romance, in your personal growth, in your fun, recreation, physical environment, the things you want. Where are you? Generating your wheel of life, and boom. So the ideal wheel, right, is a circle. The ideal wheel. So we can get a lot of things about how we can make it better. You can save this assessment, right? You can save it. And you can see a little bit about where are you weaker or stronger, and where do you have to improve. Because the goal is, wheel runs. If we're like this, you won't be able to fully run, right? You're working at 52%. We need to be at 100%. And then you can combine that wheel with a little bit more information, right? We put your whole name, you have 2 names, you put 2 names, you put your date of birth, if you can wave your hand, right? So in 12 months, we are serving over 5,000 members, seeing them achieve their goals. I have some personal stuff. I have my Alma papers. I still have my 3-year-old daughter. I haven't got her U.S. papers yet. I want to have, the apartment where I want to live in. You can put whatever. You can just write whatever you want to live. It's goal. To put 3 top goals. So, launch university in February. 5,000 members by December 2020. December 30th, 2026. And let's put 1,000 people. Achieve over $1,000 in profits. Sales. Maybe. All right, why this goal matters. Whatever you want, right? How committed are you to achieve these goals? Definitely committed, right? Boom, boom, boom. And once you press generate, you're gonna get like a blueprint, right? So you can see a little bit of who are you? I put December 11th, December 12th, right? And you can see it. You will see a little bit who your mind is constantly searching for deeper meaning. You can see a little bit about, and it analyzes you a little bit, gives you some natural gifts, how to use your gifts, strengths. Watch out for isolation, overthinking, skepticism, coldness, perfectionism, right? Ideal career paths. Boom, boom, boom. Love and relationships, intellectual. So, and it also combines this, right, with your wheel. Your purpose, you're here to seek truth, understand mysteries, your destiny is wisdom and spiritual depth, right? This natural strengths. Your 2020 success forecast, reflection and wisdom year. Theme, go inward, study, research, develop spirituality, quality over quantity. Read, meditate, right? So you're getting some recommendations. You can take whatever you want, whatever you don't, whatever's yours, whatever's not. So not everything goes for you. But again, some questions for you to ask. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do different this year? What story have you been telling yourself that keeps you small? Who do you need to become to achieve your goals? What would your life look like if you operate 100% of your potential? What are you tolerating in your life that drains your energy? Gives you like one of the things that you have to use, right? The sixth sense is that portion. Your Napoleon Hill power principle, where you can definitely, I think this works so well with me. This is what I want to do, right? Master, because some of us very powerful and we don't know where we are, right? Some of wisdom's for your journey. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. So we're getting all these, overcoming your number one challenge. Gives you some also reframing your 2026 goals. Gives you your goals, right? Combine inside with your wheel. So it combines it with your wheel. 90-day breakthrough action plan. So this is amazing. There's a lot of information that you can get for free. All you have to do is go to the site. You don't even have to register right now and say you're committed, right? And boom, right? Committed. Just take the first step. You can save it, you can print it, you can share it with your friends. We're gonna put a form somewhere around here so you can access it. But for now, it's here. And definitely, I want you all to use it. Give me feedback on what you thought about it, because I think if we implement both, I don't think it's one or the other. I think it's both. If we implement Napoleon Hill's information and we implement Solomon's, everything about Solomon and how to live. If I like really Proverbs, because most of it is either do this or do that option, good option. Which one you want? You wise, you want to be dumb. Which one you want? So how can we implement it in our daily lives to achieve a higher life? A higher goal, a higher essence of what we want. So we can get it truly done. So this is one of the things that we want to do. I want to get you some tools. I want to talk about, again, Napoleon Hill or Solomon, maybe both, right? How can we integrate both of them into our lives? So thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment, subscribe, like, whatever. If you like it, if you didn't like it, what do you want to talk about next time? So we can definitely, get all the information toward you. So thank you very much. A lot of blessings and a lot of positive energy, good vibes, and blessings to everybody. Victor Gomez here. See you next time. And hey, go into the app, check the websites, go into the descriptions, read Proverbs, read Think and Grow Rich. And I know your life can be different this 2026.